Hey babes, welcome to Your Mom's Best Friends podcast, where we come together as a tribe and share the good, the bad, and the what in the actual fuck moments of motherhood, all while building our dream life. I'm your host, Brandy Ververs, mama to two littles, Army veteran, and business enthusiast. I'm obsessed with empowering mamas to live their life with their babies in tow while also building their dreams. If you're ready for a good laugh or to get inspired, grab your cup of coffee because you're in the right place.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited about this week's episode because I am interviewing my girlfriend, Karina. If you saw last week's, you saw how pumped I was after taking the human design quiz that she had recommended. And if you took it, a light bulb had to have gone off for you as well and been like, oh my gosh, this is why I do things. Or, okay, this is how I should be doing things and why some things in my life have not panned out for me. And so I highly recommend, if you have not taken it, definitely do so. It is linked in the show notes from last week. But this week with Karina is just so interesting because she goes into the different types of services that she offers for her business and how you can become more at home within your body. You know, her wisdom is housed within the body and unconsciousness, and she really believes that the memories and imprints of our first home become the foundation of our life and lived experiences. And she knows that, even not as a parent herself, she knows that this is the greatest gift and contribution to your child is to access the wisdom within your own body and to rewrite the present day reality. And so we get into that, talk about that a little bit. And like I said, the services that she offers, she has been on a ton of panels answering questions for women and bringing more relatability and awareness to what it means to actually be at home in your body. And so without further ado, let's dive into this week's episode. What is up, you guys? Okay, so this is the episode that I was so excited for because I have my girlfriend Karina on here. I'm telling you guys, she is literally the most beautiful person I know inside and out. She just recently cut her hair, so she's got a totally new vibe that I'm absolutely loving, and I can't wait for you guys to hear her story, hear kind of what she has to offer, because what she is offering is something that I have never heard of until we talked. It's so just it's so interesting, and you're the one that got me to do the human design quiz, and I found so much out about myself just from that little quiz. And so I can't wait to share with everyone what you have to bring. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you decided to take this path.
Wow. So, hi everyone. Thank you for having me here. I love that your podcast focuses a lot on parenting, and I think that's such an important role that we serve. So, I am Karina Rodriguez. I am a body wisdom expert, and honestly, what I do began at age 4, which sounds crazy because it's like you're a freaking child, right? But as a 4-year-old, I saw a disconnect within the adults around me. Like I can see their physical body moving and I can see their essence separate from it. And that really sparked a curiosity in me to start to support this reconnection because I can see and feel the pain that they were going through. So naturally, that unraveled to study humanity for the last 27 years and really discover a solution to support that disconnect that I saw. And my work is very much focused on the basis of the body, which houses our entire life history and that of our ancestors. It actually would plays out in majority of our life because our unconscious mind rules approximately 99.5% of our reality. And in order to be able to tap into our conscious mind, we need to be living in the present moment. Some ways to do that is like through mindfulness and meditation, but obviously we live in very stressful, fast-paced world, especially out here in the US, that it makes it very hard to be in that empowered state, to constantly be reprogramming things. And that would be too exhausting. So my work is very heavily focused on the unconscious mind and honoring the wisdom of our own bodies to lead the way. which actually makes it a very graceful journey into coming more to be at home in yourself. And it just naturally unravels for the rest of your life to drastically shift. We're not coming into this relationship with parts of you from a state of wrongness, but from a state of love, which naturally allows the enveloping of parts of you to want to be seen, to want to be brought back home. And as a result, my clients experience this beautiful, intricate, like experience of just coming more into themselves and allowing more of their life to permeate and like nourish them, which is, I think, is the most beautiful thing, right? Because at the end of the day, everything we do, it's to, and the desire to have that experience to be nourished by life.
I love that. Okay, so my first question is, how long would you say it takes for somebody to start to feel at home in our body? Because like you said, like the reprogramming would just take way too long. We're too fast paced, we're too busy, especially us moms. Like we always have somebody pulling on us, or like we switch from mom mode to business mode, mom mode to business mode, and we have all of these things going on. How long would you say like something like this to feel at home in your body takes?
Wow, that is such a beautiful question. And naturally, I'm like, okay, you're looking for a number. And I'm like, everyone's journey is different and unique, right? But there's different levels of coming home. And one specific client just popped to my awareness. She hadn't done therapy or any really much in her work, but we had one body wisdom session. And like, she experienced such a huge transformation in her experience. She's an overachiever, high overachiever engineer, and super hands-on. But in having one body wisdom session, she identified how it shifted her experience so much in relationship to her partner and her children. Then in the past, she was in such high stress, but she didn't really know. She wasn't aware of it when she would get home from work, that her kids would seek out her partner, but not her. And after the session, she identified how they started to seek her out more when she would come home, but she was also available to like be in relationship with them.
Gotcha. Okay. What would you say to like, because I do this, Rob does this, whenever we come home from like working, we need like a couple minutes to like decompress and stuff like that. Is that like, is that normal? Is that something, that we do naturally to kind of feel more at home, or?
Yeah, that's definitely very important. And this is the part, like in my work, I think actually parents really taking the time to honor and take care of themselves is beneficial, like to the children in that moment, especially if you're a parent that is more like a helicopter parent. And I'm not a parent, but I have witnessed myself in relationship to children when I'm caring for them, and I was definitely the helicopter. But that, like, not giving yourself that space to be with yourself, right? Because you are going through these shifts. So I think giving yourself that space, those like, and being intentional, like, okay, I'm going to give myself this amount of time, and for me and my clients, a lot of them have done my inner peace experience recording, which helps you. It's a personalized recording you listen to. So a lot of them use it in transition from like work to their life. And you just basically lay down or relax if you can. And if you play it, it just helps create like a lot of my clients described it like it's just this all-encompassing mother energy that just holds you, so your subconscious and unconscious could speak to you and things can integrate in your physical body, so then you could step into the next part of your day more grounded and more stable. So yeah, definitely taking time is really important, because you are a whole being and a whole individual with a lot of different files in you, and like you're out in the day, you don't know what part of you might become activated or alive. And I think the best service that parents can do is doing that, because if you don't take that time to honor that, you're going to bring that forward in your relationship with your child. And that actually there's a friction within you. So the child is going to feel that friction even if you don't verbalize it, because children are very, very sensitive and in tune.
Yeah, that makes total sense because for Rob especially, he goes from like managing like in work, right? And then sometimes I feel like if he doesn't get that piece, the like seconds to himself, he's still managing, you know? So there
Mhm.
wasn't that like disconnect. So that's so true. That's so important and such a good perspective. So you did say two things that I wanted to touch on. The body wisdom session. What is that? And how can people access that? And then the second part, the inner peace recording. Is there like a specific time of day people should do that? And then how do they access that?
So the body wisdom session, so it's part of one of my offerings, and it's a session 100% led by your body and the unconscious. So your body, my gift is your body communicate to me on a subtle level. It's like, there's somatics, and somatics is like helping you tap to the top level. Like, we're actually coming from your body leading the session up. So we're bypassing a lot of like, I think this is happening. It's like, no, your body's actually communicating like, hey, in this moment in your life right now, the invitation is the pinch in your right elbow you're not even aware of. And that pinch in the right elbow, is connected to currently at work, you're being triggered um, because your boss is being rude. And then that pinch in your right elbow is reminding you of that one time that your mom pinched you. And that's what's activating you. The body stores very specific memories. So body sessions are 100% led by the body. So I invite in, like the body's just communicate to me. And then I'm like inviting in the person. It kind of feels like an enveloping, like putting a blanket of just wisdom in themselves, like bringing them more into themselves.
Mm.
And every time I start sharing what the body communicates, people are like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Like that body part you're mentioning, like I hit it and it hurts so bad. So it's 100% led by your body. So it's really powerful. And people can access that. They can, if they want to book a one-time session, they could access that on my Instagram. Um, yeah. And the
Is
inner
that
peace,
is
oh,
that
go ahead.
well, is that done in person only?
So no, I do virtual. That's one thing I love about my work, and I actually prefer virtual because I've learned through my experience doing virtual, it helps support a rewiring. It really starts to stabilize and set this foundation within the individual and themselves as I'm walking them through this journey. I think in like 2020 it clicked to me, was like I'm leading you through this trail, we're going hiking, and I have the map to guide us there. But while we're there, you're also going to get to access other things and see, like you might turn to the left and see birds. But the more you go through that trail and you're guided and you're feeling like you're doing it yourself, the more there starts to be that, the neural pathway created within yourself. So then it becomes more natural for you to start tapping into your own body and your own body wisdom, which is my goal, is really to help people tap into their own body wisdom, because all of our bodies have wisdom. All of our bodies have the desire to communicate to us. I'm just the vessel, the channel that really helps people develop that within themselves. But yeah.
So interesting. Oh my gosh, I got to book a session. I haven't booked a session. And like the more we talk about it and like the more we just connect, especially in person, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like just so much more development that I want to do, like mentally, like with my body, just all of it. And it's just so interesting and exciting. Okay, so then the second part, right, was the inner peace recording. What time of day should people do that and how do they access that?
Yeah, so the inner peace recording, honestly, sometimes I've played it for myself like 10 times a day. And like I have other
Wow.
clients that rely, like we just come to it. It's like, um, so yeah, like it honestly, you can just play it in between. Like I like to play it in the mornings when I'm coming out of sleep because it helps me integrate my dreams. I like to play it at night when I'm going to sleep. I like to play it when I have very long days and I'm like exhausted. And then I
Mm.
notice my energy shift and suddenly I have a lot more energy. And in the past, I launched that last year. And the previous year and the beginning of the year, and it's a 48-hour experience. So the original experience is a 48-hour experience that I guide you to tap into your subconscious and unconscious mind through dream work and through really through journaling. And then we both go into a ceremony session where I help you understand your dream. And then we record your own personalized recording. And that recording is what you keep with you and you get to continue to use on your own as a tool. And that's like a lifetime thing that you get to have access to because it's your own personalized recording, which is really empowering with that. But yeah, anybody can use it. The more I like just play that while you're washing the dishes, it's like it's just music. So like yeah, the top thing that you hear, it's like my guidance, me guiding you into the journey, and then the music, the playlist that I create for you, and like me guiding it. And then yeah, it's really wholesome.
Oh my gosh, that just sounds so therapeutic. Like I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm just gonna put Karina on my headphones and like she's just gonna like guide me through this. Like, oh my God, I love that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so some other really good things that we are doing. If you are local, she's actually going to come to my workshop at the end of the year. So you can meet her in person and she's going to do like a little info sesh, maybe like some type of guided, I don't know, we have to work out the details, but she is going to be there to provide some of her knowledge and some of her services, which is super amazing. So stay tuned for details on that event. But also she just launched her merch, which I'm so excited because currently it is hoodies and crew necks, and I love a good crew neck. So super excited for that. Pre-order is open and they should be launching mid-November as long as everything goes to plan. But you want to talk a little bit about your merch and what made you start that?
Oh my God, yeah. So the merch, what inspired me to start it was I have had clients that have gone through my self-love year, my self-mastery year-long program, and also my reconnect program. And I was like, I want to give them a gift, but it doesn't do justice to just give them a gift card somewhere. Like, I want to give them something personal. And one day it was like, this is it. So I found a sweater that I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like everything was just aligned. And I went through my first process of, I really care for quality, especially because it is wanting to support that home in your body experience. I want people to feel comfortable and continue to extend that experience of you feel cozy at home and comfortable. And I want you to feel cozy at home and comfortable outside. And then I also wanted to be embroidered because I just think embroidery is so beautiful. So I got embroidery done on the chest and then on the wrist. I'm like, I want an affirmation that will remind them I am home, of this experience.
Mm.
So I created that. And then I also invited a few friends like, hey, I'm doing this. I don't know what it's going to be. And, if it's going to take off. And, some of them did it. And it was just such a great experience. Like I myself found myself wearing that everywhere. And everyone loved it. A lot of them kept saying how comfortable it is. And so I was like, this is something that I need to do to support people to continue to reconnect and deepen their relationship to their body, to have that link and that extension out when they're out in the world, So yeah, it just became its own thing. The merch is called Skins because we really promote this idea, throughout our life, we're going to continue to wear different identities. And our whole journey and our whole experience is in the process of wearing these different identities. We want you to really own that identity. Because there are so many parts to us and we want to celebrate the identities you're shedding and letting go of. And we want to celebrate the new ones that are coming. And this Skins is really you wearing and owning the one that is like here now and being comfortable in it. So yeah, it's an extension of at home in your body. It is at home in your body. And it's also like you're front facing in the world, right? Because the thing people see from us is our skin. They don't see like the wisdom and the memories, and they see our skin. So how can we rock and own our skin? But our skin is our identity. Like we shed skins, and we birth new ones. So yeah, that's what inspired it. And naturally, it's like such a beautiful first touching point for people that are curious about their body. It really helps support the movement of reclaiming our bodies, and living in a society that really demystifies, like there's just so much pressure in the body, but it's such a disconnect to its wisdom. So yeah, there's a lot of inspiration behind that.
I love the connection between the two. Like reading it and then knowing you, like I kind of had an idea, but with you just like explaining how the shedding and the rebirth and all of that stuff and trying to just be comfortable in the skin that you're in now, love. Love it. Sign me up. I'm going to order an extra large. I like mine oversized, but I am on the pre-order list. I can't wait. It's so exciting. One thing else that I did want to touch on, so you did say that, you work with high achievers. How many of them would you say are moms or are parents?
Yeah, I have a good I've worked with high achieving um like high achievers that are also parents, and I've also
Mm,
worked with high achievers that are not parents.
mm,
So I think it it just falls. I think everyone that I've worked that is a parent is a high achiever, but I've
mm.
also worked with predominantly like high achievers in general. Like
Yeah.
I love working with high achievers because I feel like the moment that the high achiever it feels safe in their body and then they like could receive everything that's here, it's like such a beautiful transformation I get to witness
Uh-huh.
in my reconnect program. So to answer your question, everyone that I work with that is a parent is a high achiever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. And I remember the first time we met, I was like, you were like, you're a high achiever. Like, this is why you feel some type of way. And, you kind of led or like guided me to want to explore, like, why do I put up this just like hardness all the time, And then
Yeah.
the second time that we saw each other in person, you were like, oh my God, you're softer. And I was like, I know it. Like it's getting there.
Yes.
And it's so magical, the way that you speak to people, the way that you listen. I just love having conversations. You're literally like a therapist to me. And I can't wait to dive into it a little bit more. Um, let's see, anything else? Oh, what services do you offer? Because you said a few things that I had no idea. So, what are some of the services that you offer?
Yeah, so I have two programs that I'm like so deeply in love and like so grateful, because a lot of my work is very much comes from a place like as I think the mothers here can connect to this. My work doesn't come from a place of like I want to create this like very mathematical, comes from a place of like okay, really being in my body and in myself and seeing like what is wanting to come through and be birthed. It literally feels like I am just a vessel, like I'm bringing birth, giving life. So I have my self mastery year-long program that was just like, okay, this is what it is, it's like embodied, and that's 4 quarters. There's self-love, quarter 1, quarter 2, self-discovery, quarter 3, self-empowerment, and then quarter 4, self-mastery. That's very like in depth, like we meet every week. You have support via Telegram in between. It's a really like nice nuke to go in. A lot of the people that go through that are predominantly people that are also very much guided by this internal like drive and compass, knowing that there's more to life. And they themselves have done like healing work. They're very self aware and they just know there's something else. So that something else is the wisdom of their body. So those are the people that go through that. And then I have Reconnect because I had a lot of high achievers and overachievers that work full time. They probably haven't really tapped in much into personal development. Some have. Um, and then there's also like facilitators, but so I had a lot of them starting to reach out to me, and they were not the person for self-love and self-mastery. So I ended up launching the Inner Peace Experience, and a few of them went through that. And then I just received this very, very like divine insight. It's like, After the session, you can see where you stand with these people and like if they want to continue to be supported. And then this is the offering to them. And it was Reconnect. And Reconnect honors so many things that I see missing in our society. One of them being, you know, a lot of times people go to very high energized events and then they leave and then they feel exhausted and they're like, you can't keep having that high over and over. Or other times people will go to retreats for a weekend. It's still like $4,000 to $6,000, you know, but then they leave and they're like, dang, I need to go. There's this idea that I need to go to get away, to connect, but there's still a disconnect to their life. And then you have people wanting to go on vacations, which they're expensive. Sometimes they're $10,000 resort, you know, but then you end up there and you're still feeling everything that you were feeling at home. You might be able to numb it a little bit with alcohol or other things, you know, but underneath the same problems you were having with your partner, the same experiences you were feeling about your body, they're all there. They're just masked with what society tells us and teaches us. Go buy this lavish $10,000 getaway, you know, flights and everything. So I really wanted to offer something that would be sustainable and that would really shift the trajectory of people's life right now. And that would nourish them. So Reconnect was birthed, and it feels like such a beautiful, wholesome, fuck yes offering. And seeing the transformation that all my clients went through, I'm just like, this is exactly what I wanted to gift the world. So Reconnect is a year commitment. So it's a retreat into yourself. What you find is that your reality is better than your dreams without nothing changing in your external reality, which is the fucking beautifulest thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So you have the inner peace, you have the reconnect, and then you have the, what was it, self-love mastery or
self-mastery year-long program. Yeah.
self-mastery. Okay. All right. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see where my journey takes me because I've done the personal development, you know, I'm just now starting to get curious about all of this, what's happening in the subconscious, right? Like you said, 99% of our life, like we're just not even knowing what the hell is going on, basically. And so being able to tap into that and kind of figure out like, maybe why I feel a certain way when I do things or what like childhood stuff, right? Like I'm so excited to dive into it. I cannot wait to use your services. Thank you so much for coming on. I think this is literally going to blow people's mind and be like, wait, what? Like I can do what? And like, she's going to be able to guide me through this. So I'm so excited. If you guys do not follow her, definitely give her a follow. It is Karina Rodriguez. She's just a ball of sunshine and joy, and that laughter, you heard it just a little bit, but it is so infectious. And yeah, go show her some love. But thank you so much for hopping on. This was so good.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Like, it just feels so good. I mean, like you said, every time we have conversations, you know, they're always so great. Like, even the last time we met up, I'm like, oh my God, you asked such great questions. I'm like, I wish we were recording this right now because I know the answer that's going to come out is going to be like fucking nourishing. You know, that's what I love about it. So I'm so glad we were finally able to like, you know, have this conversation, and I hope that it brings people nourishment because one of the most beautiful things about our own consciousness and our body is it's so fucking loving. Like there is just pure love, you know, and in that love and in that holding of us within us, that's the best part. It's within us, you know, just having a guide that guides you there. It's just like, this is all me, you know?
Yeah.
It is so beautiful because it also allows for our own light to come through and our own ability to further be able to see others. And that's one thing I want to mention about Reconnect. A therapist went through it and it made her a better therapist. In the midst of her own life transforming, she did it for herself, but it also benefited her work, which is the same thing with mothers. When mothers take care of themselves and they invest in that internal world and landscape, especially when we're really looking at it from like at home in your body, because the past lives in the present and it will continue to live in the future. And when we really come in and occupy that body and allow the body to inform us, how do we create a new home within ourselves to allow the home that's coming out? And now we're offering a child, the whole next generation, right? Because the home that our parents offered us is a reflection of the home they had. So how can we create more space in our bodies through our body guiding us into ourselves to create a more expansive home foundation for ourselves now, first and foremost, because we always have to do it for yourself, and then offer that to the children. So it's all love. It's all love when it comes to like this with your own consciousness and body. And that's what I really just wanted to highlight. Like it's not, there's no punishment. It's just like, thank you for acknowledging that it's time to come home.
I love that. Yeah, because, you know, and the last thing that I will say is that we are so hard on ourselves as not only mothers, but just humans in general. You know, we're always looking to critique something, or what can we do better? Or, you know, like, I need to fix this. Whereas this, it's allowing your body to communicate with your mind, right? And just showing it love versus all this critiquing. Like, it's like, I love you. This is where I'm coming from. And this is how we can go forward to, you know, help serve other people better. And I just love that. Yeah. But thank you so much. This was so good. I can't wait to share it. And we'll chat soon.
All right, mamas, that's what I have for you on today's episode. If you've liked what you've heard, please tag me on your Instagram stories at Brandy Ververs. That way we can continue to grow and empower more mamas to live their best life. See you next time.